My besties, this video is the complete story of Lily and Laura. I have combined all three parts into a single video for a better experience of new viewers. I hope you enjoy the story. Subscribe to the channel and let's get started. Laura lay on a thin hospital bed in a small clinic in Lagos. Sweat rolled down her forehead. Her body felt heavy and her skin burned with fever. The white bedsheet was damp, and her breathing was quick and shallow. She held a phone close to her ear with trembling hands. Her voice was weak, but she tried to speak clearly. "Hello. I'm so sorry," Laura said, her voice shaking. "I've been preparing for this interview, but I'm very sick. I'm in the hospital right now. Please. I truly want to come." A cold voice cut her off on the other end of the line. "Ma'am, we do not reschedule interviews. If you are not here at the exact time, your application will be canceled. Thank you." Click. The call ended. Laura slowly lowered the phone. Her arm dropped to the side like all her strength had left her. She stared up at the cracked ceiling, blinking back tears. "Please," she whispered, her voice barely a breath. "Please don't take this chance away from me. My daughter, she deserves a better life." In the corner of the room, a little girl sat quietly on a plastic chair. Her name was Lily. She was 5 years old, with big brown eyes and short curly hair tied with blue beads. Her feet swung above the floor as she watched her mother. She didn't speak. She just sat still, her small hands folded in her lap. She had seen her mother work hard, suffer, and hope for something better. Now, she was watching her cry, and she knew she had to do something. The sky outside was still a soft gray when Lily opened her eyes. The hospital room was quiet. Her mother lay asleep, her face pale, lips dry and skin hot from the fever. The IV drip clicked gently beside the bed. Lily slipped off the plastic chair without making a sound. She walked to the bedside and stood on her tiptoes. With one hand, she carefully moved a strand of hair from her mother's forehead. "Mama," she whispered softly, "you need to rest now." She looked at the brown leather bag beside the bed, the one her mother never let out of her sight. Slowly, she unzipped it and pulled out the clear folder. Inside was the resume, still clean and straight. She held it tight in both hands like a treasure. She walked to the corner where her clothes were folded in a small plastic bag. She chose her favorite outfit, a bright kitenge dress with pink, blue, and yellow flowers. Her mother had sewn it for her last birthday. She put it on carefully, then looked at her small sandals, worn but still good. She slid her feet into them. The folder looked big in her tiny hands, but she hugged it close to her chest. Lily walked to the door, looked back one last time at her mother, then stepped out. Lily stood at the side of the road just outside the hospital. Cars zoomed past. Street vendors shouted. Smoke from roasting corn filled the air. But she didn't flinch. She looked down at the paper she had taken from the fridge at home last week. A colorful flyer with a picture of a tall glass building. It had the company's name on it. Mabaso Group Holdings, and right beside it was a small number her mother had circled in red ink. Bus 24. Lily waited until she saw the Danfo with the matching number. The yellow bus pulled up roughly, brakes squeaking. People rushed in. A kind older woman helped her climb on. "Where are you going, small madam?" the woman asked, smiling. "To the big glass building," Lily said, hugging the folder tightly. "My mama is supposed to have a job there." The woman nodded slowly. "Then sit near me. I will tell you when to get down." Lily sat quietly, her feet swinging above the dirty floor of the bus. She held the folder like it was magic, like it could fix everything. Around her, Lagos buzzed with life. Cars honking, music playing, hawkers tapping windows. But in her heart, she felt calm. She had a mission. About 40 minutes later, the woman tapped her gently. "Your stop, little one. There it is." Lily stepped off the bus. In front of her stood the tallest building she had ever seen, its glass walls shining in the morning sun. She took a deep breath and walked toward the doors. The front doors of Mabaso Group Holdings opened with a soft whoosh as Lily stepped inside. Behind a big marble desk sat a woman with short braids and gold earrings. Her name tag read Ngozi. Ngozi was busy typing when a small shadow appeared at her desk. She looked up and blinked. Standing in front of her was a little girl in a bright kitenge dress, holding a folder almost half her size. Ngozi leaned forward gently. "Hello, sweetheart, are you lost?" Lily shook her head. "No, I'm here for the interview." Ngozi blinked again. "Interview?" "Yes," Lily said, standing straighter. "It's my mama's interview. She's very sick and couldn't come. But she really needs this job, so I came instead." For a moment, Ngozi didn't know what to say. People nearby had slowed down, watching the scene. 2 security guards began to move closer, frowning. Ngozi quickly raised a hand toward them. "No, it's okay," she said. Then she turned back to the little girl. "What's your mama's name?" "Lily Kabwe," Lily replied. Ngozi checked her computer. Yes, she was scheduled for 9 today. She took a slow breath, then pressed a button on her earpiece. "Hello? Please tell Mr. Okonkwo to come down. No, don't ask questions, just tell him he needs to see this, it's important." She looked down at Lily and smiled softly. "You're very brave, my dear." Lily smiled back, clutching the folder tighter. On the top floor of Mabeso Group Holdings, Mr. Adam Okonkwo stood beside a large glass window. He was tall, dark-skinned, and sharply dressed in an off-white suit. Only 32 years old, he was already one of the most feared CEOs in Lagos. People said he didn't smile, didn't waste time, and didn't care much for anything outside business. His assistant entered quietly. "Sir, the last interview candidate, you might want to handle this one yourself." Adam frowned. "I thought I said I wasn't to be disturbed today." "I know," she said. "But this is different. Please come downstairs." With a sigh, Adam straightened his tie and stepped into the elevator. The ride down was silent. He expected another desperate applicant or some kind of mistake. But when the doors opened, he stopped. Right in the middle of the lobby stood a tiny girl in a colorful dress, holding a folder almost as wide as her chest. Her back was straight. Her eyes were steady. She turned and looked up at him. "Are you the boss?" she asked. "I am," he replied slowly. Lily stepped forward and handed him the folder with both hands. "This is my mama's. She was supposed to come, but she's very sick, so I came instead." Adam raised an eyebrow, surprised. "Why would you do that?" She lifted her chin, voice clear. "Because Mama deserves more than pain." The words hit him like a quiet hammer. He looked down at the folder, then back at the child. Around them, the whole lobby had gone silent. Adam took a long breath, then turned to the receptionist. "Ngozi, cancel my next meeting." "Sir?" He didn't repeat himself. Then he looked at Lily and gave the smallest nod. "Come with me." She smiled and followed him down the hallway. It was the beginning of something none of them could yet understand. The meeting room was large, cold, and full of glass. A long table stretched across the center, and big chairs lined both sides. Adam pulled out a chair for Lily. It was too tall for her, but she climbed up with quiet confidence and sat straight, her small legs swinging above the floor. He sat across from her, placing the folder gently on the table. For a moment, he just looked at her, this small girl who had walked into a world meant for grown-ups. "So, Lily," he said, his voice softer than before, "can you tell me why your mother wants this job?" Lily didn't rush. She placed her tiny hands on the edge of the table and thought for a moment. "Mama works all the time," she began. "She cleans other people's houses. She carries food on her head to sell to shops. She never gets to rest." Adam nodded slowly. "She doesn't buy anything for herself," Lily added. "Even when her shoes are broken, she says, 'These ones are still okay,' and then she buys me new ones instead." Adam glanced down at Lily's clean white sandals. He didn't say anything, but his face changed a little. "She used to go to school," Lily continued, her voice quiet. "She told me she loved learning, but when she had me, she had to stop everything." Adam's eyes didn't leave her face. "She told me one night," Lily said, almost whispering, "that she's tired of just surviving. She wants to use her brain again. She wants a job that sees who she really is." The room fell completely silent. Adam leaned back in his chair. No resume had ever spoken to him like this. And yet this child, with her truth, her love, and her hope, had just told him everything he needed to know. After Lily left the room with Ngozi, Adam remained seated, the folder still open in front of him. He looked down at the neatly typed words on the resume. The name at the top read Lily Kabwe. She had studied marketing at the University of Ibadan. full scholarship, top marks, leadership roles, president of the student business club, peer mentor. Adam raised an eyebrow. She had been sharp, driven, full of promise. Then suddenly, the line of success stopped. No graduation, no internship. Instead, the next section read, house cleaner, street vendor, waitress, night shift janitor. He stared at it, slowly tracing the timeline with his finger. The story was clear without being told. A young woman with a bright future, suddenly forced to survive. Adam leaned back in his chair, silent. He had read thousands of CVs in his life, most full of big words and empty noise. But this was real. Adam closed the folder slowly. Something inside his chest, long buried and quiet, began to move. That afternoon, a delivery bike pulled up outside the small hospital. A nurse brought a small package into Lara's room and placed it on the bedside table. Lara stirred slowly, still weak from the fever. Her eyes opened halfway. Then she saw it. A neat bouquet of soft, colorful wildflowers stood in a glass jar beside her bed. Next to it was a small box wrapped in clean, cream-colored paper. A note leaned gently against it. Her hands trembled as she reached for the card. The handwriting was simple and neat. To the strongest woman I've yet to meet, Adam Okonkwo. Inside the box was a small pack of cold chocolate milk, her daughter's favorite. Lara sat up fast. Her heart began to race. "Lily," she whispered. Her eyes darted around the room. The chair was empty. Panic filled her chest. She grabbed her phone and quickly searched through her folder for the number on the company flyer. Her fingers shook as she dialed. "Hello, Mabaso Group Holdings," came a calm voice. "This is Ngozi speaking." "Please," Lara said quickly. "This is Lily Kabwe. I think my daughter may have come to your office today with my folder. She's only 5. I'm so sorry." Ngozi chuckled softly. "Don't worry, Miss Kabwe," she said warmly. "Your daughter is safe." Lara's throat tightened. "In fact," Ngozi continued, "she may have just earned you a second chance." Lara said nothing. She was too stunned to speak. The next day, a message was sent to the hospital. Mabaso Group invited Lily Kabwe to come in for a formal interview. Lara's fever had gone down, but her body still felt weak. Even so, she didn't hesitate. She washed and dressed carefully. Her skirt was simple, her blouse a soft navy color. She brushed her hair back into a neat bun. Her shoes were old but clean. Lily held her hand as they stood outside the glass doors of Mabaso Group Holdings. "You'll do great, Mama," the little girl whispered. Lara smiled, holding back tears. "Because of you, my love." Inside the building, the receptionist, Ngozi, greeted her with a warm smile. "Miss Kabwe, welcome. Mr. Okonkwo is expecting you." Lara followed her through quiet hallways. Her heart pounded with every step. When the door to the executive office opened, Adam Okonkwo stood by his desk. He looked different this time, less sharp, more human. He stepped forward, offering a firm handshake. "Miss Kabwe, I'm glad you're feeling better." "Thank you, sir," Lara said softly. Adam smiled gently. "Your daughter gave the most powerful interview I've seen in all my years here." Lara looked down, her cheeks warming. Adam pointed to the chair across from his desk. "Now," he said, "I'd like to hear from you." Lara nodded slowly, sat down and opened her folder. This time she would speak for herself. A week later, Lily Kabwe walked into Mabaso Group as a junior associate. It wasn't a senior role, no big title, but it was a start. Some staff gave her polite smiles. Others didn't smile at all. She heard the whispers. "That's the woman with the child. She's only here because the CEO feels sorry for her." But Lara didn't let it break her. She arrived early, before the office even filled. She stayed late, long after others had gone. She read every document she was given, took notes in meetings, watched the senior team closely. How they spoke, how they moved, how they thought. She didn't ask for special treatment. She just worked, quietly, faithfully. And when she made mistakes, because she did, she apologized, corrected them, and never repeated them. One day when she stayed late finishing a report, a sandwich quietly appeared on her desk. No note, but she knew who had sent it. On another day when she called to say she'd be late, Lily had a fever. Adam's message was short and kind. Family first, take your time. He didn't hover, he simply supported. And in that quiet, steady space, Lara began to grow. Not just in the job, but in the belief that maybe, just maybe, she belonged. Every Friday after school, a little burst of joy entered Mabaso Group's high-rise office. Her name was Lily. She came with her small backpack, coloring books, and a bright smile. The guards waved her in like she was royalty. The receptionist kept her favorite juice cold in the fridge. By now, she had her own special spot in Adam's office. A small cushion near the window, a box of crayons, and a tiny stool just her size. She would sit quietly as her mother finished work, humming and drawing pictures of animals, houses, and stars. Adam sometimes paused his calls just to glance over and see what she had drawn. One time she scribbled a crown on his head and called him the King of Papers. He laughed, a real laugh, and didn't correct her. The staff got used to her presence. In fact, they started to love it. They called her Little CEO. She waved at everyone in the hallway. She handed out stickers she got from school. She even once reminded the finance manager to take his lunch, because Mama says grown-ups forget. She didn't know it, but her quiet joy brought life to the office. And to Adam, she brought something he hadn't felt in years: peace. It was a quiet Friday evening. Most of the staff had gone home. The office lights were low, and the city outside glowed with orange sunset. Inside one of the meeting rooms, Lara and Adam sat side by side, reviewing slides for an upcoming presentation. Lily sat in the corner, curled up with a blanket and juice box, coloring silently. They worked in calm silence, occasionally sharing a smile or a joke. Then, just as Lara stood to pack her bag, a small voice broke the air. "Mama?" Lily asked. Lara turned. "Yes, baby." Lily looked up, her eyes big and serious. "Can I call Uncle Adam, Baba?" The room went still. Lara's hands froze mid-air. Adam blinked, his lips parted slightly. Lily continued softly. "He always picks me up. He brings me ice cream. He reads to me. And he makes you smile." Lara's throat tightened. She turned to Adam, afraid of what she might see, but he was already walking toward them. He bent down beside Lily and gently placed his hand on her shoulder. His voice was low, a little shaky. "It would be my honor." Lara weeps as Adam gently places a hand on Lily's shoulder. Her tears are not from pain this time, but from something softer, deeper: love. She has fought so long, so hard without help, and now here stands a man once cold, now open, choosing her child like his own. Something in Lara finally releases. Months pass. Her role at Mabaso transforms. No longer the woman with the child, she becomes a respected voice, precise, prepared, quietly powerful. She mentors, advises, grows. But beneath all her growth, one thing grows quietly too: her bond with Adam. It's unspoken but real. He looks up when she walks in. She saves him the last slice of banana bread. They speak less with words now, more with trust. Lily remains the heart of it all, still coloring, still reminding adults to rest, still watching with wide eyes. Without realizing it, she has stitched two hearts together. The end-of-year gala sparkles with lights, music, and laughter. Lara stands in a green flowing dress, glowing beside the Christmas tree. Lily twirls in silver shoes, her cream dress catching the lights as she spins. Adam watches from across the room, no numbers in his hands, just a quiet peace in his eyes. Later, someone taps a glass. Adam steps to the microphone. "Usually I talk about profits, but tonight I want to share a different kind of story." He tells the room about the tiny girl who came to the lobby with a folder twice her size, how she spoke with clarity, with courage, how her love brought one of the company's best hires. He lifts his glass. "To Lily Kabwe, and to the girl who believed in her before the rest of us did." He looks at Lily. "Family is not always blood." The room claps, emotional. Under the golden lights, they stand together, mother, daughter, and the man who quietly chose them both. In a city of traffic and closed doors, one little girl walked in, holding only her mother's dream. No one noticed, but she kept going. She didn't just carry a folder, she carried truth. Because of her, a mother was seen, a door opened, a future began. And love found its way home, quietly, powerfully. It had been 5 years since Lily walked bravely through Mabaso Group's tall glass doors, clutching her mother's hopes in a simple folder. She was older now, 7 years old enough to understand whispers, stares, and cruelty. Fairy tales don't last forever, she had learned. Today was Lily's first day at another new school, an expensive private academy Adam chose specially for her. The hallway shone with polished floors and glittering trophies behind glass cases. Every student wore clean uniforms, ironed perfectly, their shoes spotless. Lily took a deep breath, trying to calm her nervous heartbeat. Suddenly, she felt the sharp gaze of curious eyes piercing her like needles. "That's her," whispered a boy, loud enough for Lily to hear. "The charity girl." She turned slightly, her eyes briefly meeting his, then quickly darting downward. A girl beside him giggled softly, folding her arms with disdain. "Yeah, my mom told me her mother begged the CEO for money. Now they both live in his big house. She's basically like his pet." Lily's fingers gripped the straps of her backpack tighter, knuckles turning white. She forced her tears back, fighting the sting of humiliation. Another boy stepped forward confidently. "She's nothing special," he scoffed. "Just Adam Okonkwo's little project." A hush of laughter rippled through the group, echoing in Lily's ears. "Look, she's gonna cry," whispered another girl, her voice sharp as ice. "Maybe Uncle CEO will buy her new friends too." Lily froze in place, shoulders trembling. A single tear escaped, rolling down her cheek. "Be brave," she heard her mother's gentle voice whisper inside her. "You belong wherever you choose to stand." Slowly, Lily wiped her tear away, taking a deep breath, gathering courage from places she didn't know existed. She lifted her chin slightly but didn't reply. Not today. The whispers still burned her heart, but she felt a tiny spark lighting inside her chest. "Tomorrow will be different," she promised silently, stepping forward, eyes still fixed ahead. Tomorrow, she would speak. Tomorrow, she would stand. But today, she walked quietly, carrying dignity beneath the pain. The next morning, Lily entered the assembly hall quietly, heart pounding, palms slightly damp. Rows of students stared, whispering, giggling. Yesterday's humiliation still burned fresh. She took a deep breath, forcing courage into her small frame. She remembered her mother's tired face after working late nights, Adam's gentle encouragement, and the strength she'd promised herself last night. A teacher tapped the microphone, voice echoing softly through the hall. "We have a new student joining us. Lily Kabwe, please come forward and introduce yourself." Soft laughter spread through the crowd, eyes gleaming with cruel amusement. Lily stepped forward, every movement heavy under their scrutiny. Her small hand trembled slightly as she took the microphone, then steadied herself. The whispers intensified. "She probably needs Uncle CEO to hold her hand," a boy murmured mockingly. Laughter followed sharply. Lily hesitated briefly, then raised her voice, surprising everyone. "You laugh at me," she began firmly, eyes now fixed bravely on the audience. Silence quickly spread. "You say I'm here because of pity." She paused, gathering courage from the silent hall. "But none of you know how hard my mother worked." Her voice trembled but stayed strong. "You never saw her cry when she couldn't afford medicine. You never saw how tired she was, working 3 jobs just to feed me." Absolute silence now filled the hall. Teachers exchanged stunned glances. Students shifted uneasily. "My mother taught me to dream, even when we had nothing." Lily's voice grew stronger, steadier. "She never begged anyone. Yes, someone gave us a chance, but we earned everything else ourselves." She took a breath, eyes now fiercely bright with defiance. "And if standing up for my mother makes me weak to you, then I'd rather be weak, with pride, than strong, with cruelty." Her words hung powerfully in the air, echoing softly into every corner of the stunned hall. Slowly, she lowered the microphone. Silence lingered heavily. No one laughed now. Then, somewhere near the back, a quiet clap began. Another student joined cautiously, then another, and soon scattered applause echoed hesitantly. Yet others remained unmoved, eyes cold, unmelted by her courage. Lily expected that. She knew cruelty wouldn't vanish overnight, but today she had found her voice. She would never lose it again. As she walked back to her seat, chin held high, one girl leaned in and whispered gently, "You're brave." Lily smiled softly, nodding. Today, courage had won. Tomorrow she knew she'd face battles again, but now she'd never fight them silently. The rooftop of Mabaso Group was painted softly by the setting sun. Warm hues of gold and crimson mingled gently in the sky. Adam stood near the railing, quietly observing Lara as she looked out over the bustling Lagos streets below. Over the past few years, his bond with Lara and Lily had quietly deepened. He loved them in silence, in gestures, in subtle acts of care. Today was Lara's birthday, and for the first time, Adam felt he couldn't hold the words inside anymore. He moved closer, heart pounding harder with each step, voice quiet and sincere. "Lara," he began softly, "there's something I've needed to tell you for years." She turned slowly, smiling gently, unsuspecting of the storm inside him. Adam took a breath, pulled out a small velvet box, opened it gently, revealing a delicate silver ring that shimmered softly in the evening glow. Lara's eyes widened, surprise mingling with deep emotion. "Adam," she whispered uncertainly. "I know we've never spoken of love openly," he continued, voice trembling slightly, eyes fixed tenderly on hers. "But I love you, truly, deeply." Lara's hands began to tremble. Her breathing grew shallow. "I want to give Lily a safe, happy life," Adam pressed gently, sincerely. "I want you to finally have the peace you've always deserved." For a moment, everything was still. Only the gentle wind stirred between them. Lara closed her eyes, emotions crashing through her heart. Tears formed, glistening softly. When she finally spoke, her voice was soft but painfully clear. "Adam, I love you too, more than I ever imagined possible." Hope flickered in Adam's eyes, but her next words shattered it gently. "But Lily already suffers enough whispers at school. I see how they hurt her. She's strong, but she's still just a child." Her voice shook now, tears slowly escaping. "If I marry my boss, she'll forever be seen as a charity case, as someone who can't survive without favors." Adam's heart visibly broke, his gaze lowered to the small ring in his hand. "I can't choose my own happiness," she whispered painfully, "over my daughter's dignity." She reached out gently, closing the velvet box softly in his hands. Adam stood frozen, his eyes deep with unspoken grief. When he finally managed to speak, his voice cracked quietly. "I understand, Lara," he murmured painfully, forcing a gentle smile. "You're a mother first, above everything. That's one of the many reasons I fell in love with you." Lara's tears fell freely now, her heart aching. "I'm sorry, Adam," she whispered brokenly. "Don't be," Adam replied softly, gently touching her shoulder. "I'll always be here for both of you, no matter what. I promise." He stepped back quietly, heart shattered, but his love unchanged. 10 years passed swiftly. Lily had blossomed into a brilliant 18-year-old, confident and articulate. She excelled academically, driven by her mother's quiet courage. Life finally seemed stable, until one quiet morning shattered everything. Lily stood in the kitchen preparing breakfast when she heard a loud crash. Her heart froze. "Mama!" She called urgently, rushing toward the sound. She found Lara on the bedroom floor, unconscious, skin pale as marble. Lily's world spun violently. "Mama!" Lily's voice trembled, frantic tears forming instantly. "Wake up! Please wake up!" Hours later, in a sterile white hallway, Lily paced anxiously. A doctor approached her slowly, expression somber. "Miss Kabwe," he began gently, hesitation in his voice. Lily looked up sharply, desperation etched on her young face. "What's wrong with my mother?" she asked, her voice shaking. "Please, tell me she's okay." He sighed deeply, compassion filling his eyes. "Your mother has stage 4 cancer. It's spread too far. There's not much time left." Lily staggered backward, her hand flying to her mouth, tears spilling uncontrollably. "No," she whispered brokenly, shaking her head in denial. She can't die. She's my everything. She's all I have left." The doctor reached out softly, placing a folded note gently in Lily's trembling hands. "She knew this day might come," he murmured softly. "She asked us to give this to you, just in case." Lily stared numbly at the note, hands trembling as she unfolded it. In Lara's familiar handwriting, now weak but still clear, were simple, powerful words. "My darling Lily, I have done my best, but now you must trust Adam. Go to him. He will help you now. Forever loving you, Mama." Lily's knees buckled. She sank to the cold hospital floor, clutching the note against her chest, grief pouring from her heart. "Mama, please," she whispered desperately, voice barely audible through her tears. "Don't leave me alone." Around her, the hallway blurred. Nurses passed silently, casting sympathetic glances. But Lily heard nothing, felt nothing, except the overwhelming fear of losing the woman who had given her everything. Adam sat alone in his spacious office at Mabaso Group, staring silently at the city below. 5 more years had passed, yet his heart remained unchanged, still bound quietly to the woman who had gently refused him, whose memory he cherished above everything. The door opened softly. Lily stood there, now a poised young woman of 18. Her eyes were red, face pale with exhaustion, grief etched deeply into her features. Adam rose immediately, concern evident in his eyes. "Lily," he whispered gently, stepping toward her, sensing tragedy. "What's happened?" Her voice broke, shaking with desperation. "Uncle Adam, it's Mama, she's dying." Adam's breath stopped momentarily, eyes widening, pain gripping his chest sharply. "No," he murmured, visibly shaken. "Lara." Lily nodded tearfully, hands trembling. "It's cancer. They said it's too late. But please help me save her. You've always been there. Please, just one more time. Don't let her die." Adam closed his eyes briefly, fighting his own tears, the old ache reopening inside him. "Lily," he began, voice steady but deeply pained. "I promise you, I will do everything possible." She sobbed softly, relief mixing with her fear. "I don't know how to live without her. She's all I've ever known." Adam stepped closer, gently placing a comforting hand on her shoulder, his voice warm, tender, breaking slightly as he spoke honestly. "I never stopped loving your mother, Lily. Never dated, never married. I couldn't. It was always her." Lily's eyes softened painfully, tears rolling silently down her cheeks as she saw the truth clearly written in Adam's sorrowful eyes. "She trusted you," Lily whispered, heart aching deeply. "She sent me here to you." Adam nodded, his voice quiet but firm. "Then let's go to her. Together." The hospital room was quiet, dimmed by gentle light filtering through thin curtains. Machines beeped softly, marking each moment passing. Lara lay pale, weakened, fragile. Her breathing shallow, eyes half open, reflecting a lifetime of strength now quietly fading. Adam stood near the bed, silent, grief heavy in his eyes. Lily held her mother's frail hand tightly, unable to hold back tears, desperately memorizing every detail of Lara's gentle face. Lara's eyes slowly opened fully, settling softly on Adam, her voice barely above a whisper. "Adam," she breathed weakly, each word an effort. "My time is close now." Adam moved closer, gently kneeling beside her bed, voice gentle yet firm. "Lara, please, don't say goodbye yet. I've fought for Lily," she breathed, "but she's still a child." "Lily is already mine," Adam said, voice trembling. "I'll protect her, always." Lara smiled weakly. "Take her somewhere quiet, teach her to keep walking." "I promise." She looked at Lily one last time. "I love you so much." And then silence. "Mama," Lily sobbed, holding on. After Lara's passing, Lily moved into Adam's grand, silent home, marble floors, chandeliers, and cold, echoing halls. Adam had promised to protect her, but not everyone welcomed her. Adam's mother, stern and elegant, watched Lily unpack her modest things. "So," she said coolly, "Adam insisted on bringing you here." Lily turned, quietly meeting her gaze. "You're not our blood," the woman continued sharply. "You don't belong. Adam may pity you, but remember your place." Each word cut deep. Lily's eyes welled, but she refused to cry. She gave a faint smile. "I understand," she whispered. The woman walked away, heels clicking coldly on marble. Left alone, Lily sat on her bed, clutching a worn photo of her mother. "I'll be okay, Mama," she whispered. "I promise I'll find my place." Adam was away on business, and without him, the house felt colder than ever. Elegant, yes, but painfully empty. Late one night, as Lily quietly finished her studies in the small guest room, footsteps approached. Adam's younger brother, Jacob, a spoiled, bitter young man, appeared silently in the doorway, eyes cold and filled with contempt. "You think you belong here?" Jacob sneered harshly, stepping closer. "You think you're special? You're nothing more than Adam's pity project." Lily slowly stood, backing away, heart pounding with fear. Her voice shook as she tried to remain calm. "Please leave, Jacob. I don't want any trouble." Jacob smirked cruelly, stepping forward aggressively, blocking her path. "Say something else. I dare you," he whispered threateningly. Terrified, Lily backed up further until she felt the cold wall behind her. Jacob reached out suddenly, grabbing her arm tightly, fingers bruising her skin. Lily screamed desperately, tears spilling instantly. "Don't touch me!" She yanked herself away, stumbling as she fled from the room, slamming the door behind her. Breathless and trembling, she hid in the hallway, sobbing quietly until dawn. The next morning, Lily approached Adam's mother cautiously, voice trembling as she recounted the previous night's terror. "He grabbed me. Please, believe me," Lily pleaded desperately. The woman's cold eyes barely flickered, voice sharp and merciless. "Jacob is family. You're not. Don't spread lies to gain sympathy." Lily's chest tightened painfully. "I'm not lying," she whispered brokenly. "Please." Adam's mother stood up firmly, eyes hardening further. "Enough. Go back to your room and never repeat such nonsense again." Defeated, Lily walked away slowly, heart heavy with betrayal. Alone once more, she curled up on her bed, silently weeping, feeling utterly trapped. Late at night, under the veil of darkness, Lily quietly gathered her things. Trembling hands packed a small backpack, a notebook, a few clothes, her mother's photograph. Each movement felt heavy, yet determined. She paused briefly at her desk, scribbling a short note with shaking fingers. "I don't belong in that house. I just wanted a home. Please don't look for me. I'll be okay. I just need air." Her eyes filled with quiet tears, but she wiped them away, folding the note neatly and placing it gently on her pillow. Lily took one last glance at the room, her heart aching deeply, then slipped silently out into the night. Lily sat quietly beneath a tree, hair tangled, clothes dirty and worn from days wandering aimlessly. Her once bright eyes now dull, tired, haunted by confusion and fear. She hugged her knees tightly, gently rocking back and forth, murmuring softly to herself, voice weak and trembling. "I just want to go home," Lily whispered desperately, tears streaming silently down her pale cheeks. "But I don't know where that is anymore." People passed hurriedly, unaware of her quiet, painful presence. She was invisible again, just as she felt long ago, before Adam, before hope. She leaned against the rough bark of the tree, closing her eyes, trembling softly from exhaustion and grief. "I'm sorry, Mama," she whispered weakly into the darkness, voice barely audible. "I tried, but I got lost." Adam returned home from his trip, immediately sensing something wrong. The house felt unusually empty, cold. He hurried to Lily's room, knocking gently, concern rising in his chest. "Lily?" he called softly. No response. He slowly opened the door, her bed untouched. Eyes landing quickly on the folded paper, his heart sank instantly. Adam unfolded the note, each word piercing him like a knife. Panic surged through his veins. "No," he whispered desperately, fear gripping him tightly. "Lily, what have you done?" He rushed downstairs, frantically calling his staff. Voices rose with urgency as servants gathered around him anxiously. "Find her!" Adam commanded urgently, voice shaking with panic. "Search everywhere! Call the police immediately!" One staff member hesitated nervously. "Sir, perhaps involving the police might—" Adam cut him off harshly, eyes fierce and filled with desperate love. "I don't care about reputation. I don't care what anyone thinks." His voice cracked painfully, full of raw, aching emotion. "I just want her safe. I promised her mother I'd protect her. I can't lose her." The house erupted into urgent movement, but Adam stood still, clutching Lily's note tightly, his heart shattered. Lily sat quietly beside her mother's grave, rain softly falling around her. She was shivering, her clothes soaked, clinging to her thin frame. Her eyes were swollen from endless tears, her face pale and weak. She gently touched the engraved letters on the headstone, L-A-R-A-K-A-B-W-E-A. Faint sob escaped Lily's lips as her fingers traced each letter. "Why did you leave me, Mama?" she whispered, voice shaking. "You promised you'd always stay with me. You promised." She closed her eyes, letting tears roll silently down her cold cheeks. "I tried, Mama," she said softly, pain filling her voice. "I tried to be strong, like you always told me. But it's too hard now." She hugged herself tighter, shoulders trembling from deep sobs. "They didn't want me, Mama. They said I don't belong. Maybe they're right. Maybe I never belonged anywhere but with you." Lily reached into her pocket and pulled out a small folded photograph. It was worn, faded, but clearly showed Lara smiling brightly, arms wrapped lovingly around her 5-year-old daughter. "You said life would get better," Lily murmured, staring at the photo. "But it only hurts more." Her voice broke again, fragile and faint. "I'm tired, Mama. So tired." Her eyelids grew heavier with each passing second. She felt weak, dizzy from days without food, nights spent wandering empty streets. "Mama," she breathed out, barely audible now. "Please, come back. Take me with you." Lily swayed slowly. The photo slipped from her trembling fingers onto the wet grass. Her vision blurred, the gravestone fading into darkness. "Please," she whispered again, body slumping forward gently onto the grave, unconscious. Rain continued softly, silently falling upon her frail figure lying motionless against the earth. An older man, carrying flowers to his own wife's grave nearby, noticed her thin body lying on the ground. "Child!" he called urgently, running closer. "Can you hear me? Wake up!" No response. He quickly lifted her fragile body into his arms. Her skin was ice cold, breathing faint, barely there. "Hold on, child," he said softly, panic rising. "Don't leave yet." He rushed towards his car, placed Lily gently inside, and sped toward the hospital. Later, at the hospital, doctors hurried around Lily's small body, machines blinking urgently. Nurses moved quickly, setting up IV drips, tubes, monitors. Lily lay still, her face peaceful yet heartbreakingly empty. A nurse stared at Lily's pale, familiar face. Her eyes widened, suddenly remembering the girl from news reports and missing person posters. "I know her," she said urgently. "It's Lily Kabwe. Call Adam Okonkwo. Now!" Hours later, Adam burst into the hospital, face drawn tight with panic, his breathing fast and shallow. "Where is she?" he asked desperately. The doctor led him silently into a small, dimly lit room. Adam's heart froze at the sight of Lily, small and lifeless, surrounded by tubes and monitors. "Lily," Adam whispered brokenly, kneeling beside her bed, gently holding her cold hand. "Please don't leave. Please come back." No movement. No response. "Sir," the doctor spoke softly, sadly, "we stabilized her body, but she's in a deep coma. We don't know if she'll wake up again." Adam's chest tightened, his world collapsing. "How did this happen?" he whispered painfully. "She was just a little girl. Brave. Hopeful. She just wanted love. How did we fail her this badly?" The room remained silent, filled only with the steady beeping of machines and Adam's quiet sobs. He gently touched Lily's cheek, voice trembling as he whispered, "I promised your mother I'd keep you safe, Lily. I promised I'd protect you. Forgive me, please. Come back to me." But Lily remained still, trapped somewhere deep inside her mind. Unreachable. Lost. Adam sat quietly, broken, silently begging a little girl he had once saved, to now save him. Lily was home again, but not like before. Now she lay silent, unmoving in her bed, surrounded by monitors softly blinking in Adam's grand mansion. Her body was here, but her spirit was far away, lost somewhere unreachable. Every morning, Adam quietly entered Lily's room. He moved carefully, as if afraid any sound might disturb the fragile peace holding Lily to this world. He gently sat beside her bed, took her thin hand, and softly brushed her tangled hair. "You have your mother's hair," he whispered quietly, smiling sadly. "I remember how she used to braid it every morning before you left for school." Lily's eyes remained closed. Her chest rose and fell softly, evenly. "I found one of your mother's letters last night," Adam continued gently, pulling out a neatly folded piece of paper. "I think she'd want me to read it to you." He cleared his throat, holding back tears, and read aloud in a trembling voice. "Dear Lily, today you asked me why life is so hard. I didn't know how to answer you, but now I do. Life is hard because love is deep. The more we love, the harder life hurts us. But remember, my baby, it's always worth it. Love anyway. Keep walking anyway. Always yours, Mama." Adam's voice broke slightly. He placed the letter gently aside and took a shaky breath, still holding Lily's hand tightly. "I should have protected you," Adam whispered, voice heavy with guilt. "I promised your mother I would keep you safe. But I failed. I let the world push you out. I let them break you." His head lowered, tears quietly dropping onto their joined hands. "I failed your mother, Lily," Adam continued softly, voice broken. "I was supposed to be your home, but instead I let cruelty live under my roof." Across the hall, Adam's mother stood silently in the doorway, watching her son grieve beside Lily's bed. Her heart tightened painfully as she saw Adam's shoulders shaking, her proud son reduced to tears because of her own cruelty. She stepped into the room softly, voice hesitant and low. "Adam," she whispered, remorse heavy in her voice. He didn't look up, his eyes still focused only on Lily. "Adam, forgive me," his mother continued painfully, tears welling in her eyes. "I never wanted this." He slowly turned, eyes filled with deep sorrow and quiet anger. "But you let it happen," he said, voice soft yet cutting. "You knew Lily needed love, and instead you gave her coldness. You turned away when she begged for help." His mother lowered her head, ashamed. "I didn't realize—" "Your pride," Adam said quietly, painfully, "cost Lily everything." He turned back to Lily, gently touching her forehead, brushing away loose strands of hair. He didn't speak to his mother again, the room heavy with silence. Days turned to weeks and weeks into months, but Adam's routine never changed. Every morning he returned quietly to Lily's side, reading letters aloud, softly brushing her hair, waiting for a sign, hoping for a miracle. But Lily remained silent, unreachable. The powerful CEO, once feared and respected by all, was now a broken man whose greatest treasure lay trapped in darkness. His home was no longer a mansion. It had become a house of regret. Weeks passed slowly, painfully. Lily still lay silent, unmoving. Adam never lost hope, though grief carved deep lines into his face. One evening, as Adam finished reading the letter again, his mother appeared quietly at the doorway. This time, she did not interrupt. She simply watched him, silent tears in her eyes, regret heavy on her shoulders. When Adam finally looked up, she spoke softly, her voice trembling. "Do you think she hears you?" Adam's eyes held quiet sorrow. "I have to believe she does. If I stop believing, I have nothing left." His mother stepped slowly forward, carefully placing a gentle hand on Adam's shoulder, voice barely a whisper. "I'm sorry, Adam, for everything." Adam did not move. He only nodded softly, eyes never leaving Lily's still form. "I'm not the one you need forgiveness from," he whispered gently. "It's Lily." His mother turned away slowly, leaving him again in quiet darkness. Adam leaned close, once more whispering gently into Lily's ear, voice trembling but filled with endless hope. "I'm still here, Lily. Your mother's words are still here. Find them, child. Please find your way home." But Lily's eyes stayed closed, lost somewhere far away. Somewhere even her mother's gentle voice couldn't reach her. Adam descended the stairs, his steps calm but full of storm. In the living room, his mother sat stiffly while Jacob stood with folded arms, smug and unbothered. Adam's voice was low but firm. "Jacob, I want you out of this house. Now." Jacob raised a brow. "Seriously? Over that girl?" Adam stepped closer. "Not that girl. My daughter. You mocked her. You humiliated her. You don't get to stay here and breathe the air of someone you disrespected." Jacob scoffed. "You've lost your mind." "No," Adam said coldly. "I've finally found my spine. Get out." Jacob muttered curses under his breath, storming out and slamming the door. Adam then turned to his mother. Silence hung heavy before he spoke, quieter this time, but laced with heartbreak. "You're my mother. I cannot ask you to leave this house." He looked her dead in the eyes. "But remember this. You took away the one thing that gave your son peace. That little girl. She brought light into my life." She tried to respond, but Adam held up a hand. "I hope one day you regret it, because I always will." He walked away, leaving her in cold silence. A fierce storm rattled the mansion. Thunder echoed loudly, lightning flashing violently through the dark sky. Rain pounded heavily against windows, drowning the house in deep shadows. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning struck nearby. The lights flickered, then plunged the mansion into total darkness. Adam's heart froze instantly, a cold panic gripping him. "Lily!" He rushed blindly through the dark hallways, stumbling desperately toward Lily's room. He burst through the door, the room illuminated only by lightning flashes. Lily's monitors beeped erratically, her breathing shallow and weak. "No, Lily, please!" Adam's voice cracked, trembling as he fell to his knees beside her bed, reaching desperately for her hand. "Not now, please! Don't leave me too!" The machines screamed urgently, lights blinking wildly. Adam sobbed openly, begging her brokenly. "Lily, stay with me! I can't lose you, not again! I promised your mother, I promised you!" A quiet, impossible sound broke through his words. Lily's eyelids fluttered faintly, slowly opening just enough for Adam to see a faint glimmer of life within her weary eyes. "Lily," he breathed in disbelief, tears streaming down his face. "I'm here. I'm right here." She slowly moved her lips, her breath faint, barely audible. Adam leaned desperately closer, heart pounding, holding his breath as her weak voice whispered one final heartbreaking word, "Mama." A single tear rolled gently down Lily's pale cheek. Then silence. The machines wailed sharply, heart monitor flatlining, a harsh reminder of Lily's final choice. "No! Lily, please, no!" Adam cried out, voice shattered by grief, gripping her limp hand tightly. "Come back! Come back!" But Lily was already gone, her peaceful face reflecting only quiet release. Adam bowed his head, shoulders shaking violently, pain crushing his chest as the storm raged outside. His mother appeared quietly in the doorway, tears silently falling, watching helplessly as Adam crumbled beside the girl he had once promised to protect. "Forgive me, Lily," Adam whispered brokenly, tears mixing with hers on the silent sheets. "Tell your mama. Tell her I tried." Lightning flashed again, casting brief illumination across the room, across Lily's silent face, Adam's broken form, and the letter on her pillow, now wet with tears. Lily's final breath had been her mother's name. Her final choice had been to leave a world that never understood her quiet courage. The mansion fell silent once again, the storm outside easing gently into a quiet rain, softly mourning a girl whose bravery once changed everything, but whose heart could not survive its own brokenness. A year passed slowly, softly. Mabaso Group was still a place of business, but now it held something deeper, Lily's memory. In the building's grand lobby stood a new statue, small yet powerful. It showed a 5-year-old Lily, holding a folder nearly as big as her body, her eyes wide with quiet determination. People stopped to look each day, reading the plaque beneath. Lily Kabwe, her courage gave voice to the voiceless. Adam, quieter now, sadness always in his eyes, stood before a crowd gathered to honor Lily's memory. "Lily taught me something," he spoke gently, his voice calm yet full of pain. "She showed me courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, gentle, carried in small hands holding big dreams." He paused, breathing deeply. "Today, we launched the Lily Kabwe Foundation. For every girl the world has forgotten, Lily's voice will speak. Where others see weakness, we see courage. Lily's life ended too soon, but her strength lives on." Later, Adam stood quietly at Lily's grave, gently placing a pack of chocolate milk beside fresh flowers. He knelt slowly, touching the soft grass that now covered Lily's resting place. "I brought your favorite again, Lily," he whispered softly, smiling faintly through his sorrow. "I remember how you always smiled when your mama brought it home." A gentle breeze rustled the leaves, whispering quietly around him. Adam closed his eyes, speaking softly once more. "Tell your mama I did my best. Tell her that even though I lost you, I will never lose the memory of your courage." His mother approached silently, gently placing a comforting hand on Adam's shoulder. She didn't speak, but her quiet presence said everything. He slowly stood, nodding gratefully. They walked away quietly together, leaving behind the peaceful grave where Lily now rested. This wasn't just Lily's story. Every day we crush so many Lilies, with harsh words, cold hearts, silent judgment. Once, she was someone's whole world, and this world broke her. Please, my besties, be kind. You never know who's barely holding on. Which part of her story made you cry? If this touched your heart, subscribe to my channel. Let's keep telling stories that heal.